Oh! Okay, now we can start.
I'm a hiatus. Baby, don't check for me. Taking time out to be and live my life.
Hey guys, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Today's video, yay, another ColourPop review, because they just keep coming out with collections. Supposedly the Garden Variety collection is their summer collection, although they're probably going to come out with like 5 more collections before summer's over, so hey. Probably the most high-profile release that they're going to come out with, besides the restocks of Sailor Moon and Mulan, as well as the pastel collection. So I'm excited about it. I received the collection last week and I've been testing it since. But it's kind of fresh. I love the kind of earthy tone vibes that are going on here. And it's a little bit more of like a natural, kind of like fresh-faced collection in my opinion, especially with the lip products, which we'll get to later. And of course it's Succulent inspired, which is so very California of them. So the entire collection includes, obviously, the Garden Variety palette. This is their kind of neutral palette with some pops of rich jewel tone colors, as they would say. So I have a lot of thoughts about this. We'll get to it later. There are 2 pressed powder blushes, which I've tried the formula of this before, but these are pressed with succulents on them. So
but she's so beautiful.
yeah, I die. It's ColourPop stealing my money for me. The blushes also come in a set with the Luxe Lip Oils, and I'd never tried this formula before this collection, so I will share my thoughts on the formula as well as just the shades in general, but this was a first time try. There are 2 Jelly Mutt shadows in the collection, as well as a 4th Ray Beauty set of the Too Faced mists. So we have the Glistenette mist, which you guys know I love, as well as the Fresh AF mist. There's a Soul Warm Gold body oil, which is straight up golden, and I'm trying to wear it on my chesticles today, but you can't really see because of my hair. And then of course, undebatably, the best item in the collection, scrunchies. Just because of the inclusion of the scrunchies, this automatically gets a C+ for me. So hopefully this will not be too long of a video, kind of like the pastel collection. I have a lot of mixed feelings about different products. Today's Dew Fairy of the day is Ebony Nikita. Thank you so much for having your notification bell on. And in terms of details of this look, I'm wearing most of the products on my face in the video, so I will talk about each of them as they pop up. Anyways, grab a drink. I picked a mug that would match the collection. Thoroughly disappointed in myself for missing the opportunity for this incredible pun when I was filming the video, so we're just gonna do it now. Let's get sucky. Okay, I'm gonna start with probably the most important product in the collection, which is obviously the palette. Garden Variety palette is a 15 pan palette, so same size as the Mulan palette if you have that one. You can just store them together. I love that they went with a cardboard palette for this collection. And packaging wise, obviously the outer packaging of this is beautiful. I just want to give them props for like every single small detail in this collection. They really brought all the small details through on even like the boxes of the products, which they didn't used to do. I feel like back in the day when I would make orders from ColourPop, sometimes I would get like the correct liquid lipstick that I ordered, but it was in a different box for a different liquid lipstick. I feel like in the past year they really stopped doing that, which seems like a very small detail, but it shows me that they're putting a lot more effort. So yeah, packaging wise, this collection. But the Garden Variety palette, 15 colors, and unfortunately 5 mattes. ColourPop this summer, I feel like they've been going really shimmer heavy, and in particular embracing the behemoth that is mattes with micro glitters. I don't know why they keep doing the mattes with micro glitters in like pretty much every single palette that they've come out with since Sailor Moon, because I don't know a ton of people who really like mattes with micro glitters. In this palette there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, 5 true mattes, and then the rest are kind of softer shimmers. 2 of those mattes with micro glitters, Succa For You and Play Day, these are like really glitter. They almost look like shimmers in the pans. And while sometimes I feel like mattes with micro glitters you're able to kind of like tap off your brush and get most of the glitter out of there, these it's kind of unavoidable. You're going to be able to see glitter in your crease. So if that bothers you, this might not be the palette for you. And I don't know, especially for Clay Day here, I would have loved if this was just a true matte. Like that is such a beautiful tone. So usually while I feel like ColourPop's love for mattes with micro glitters doesn't usually get in the way of me enjoying palettes, this one it kind of does. So this is the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes right now. I have Prickly Please in the crease as well as Stay Sharp pretty much all over the eyeball. Root 'em Up as a smoky little winged liner. Herbivore on the inner part of the lid. Wavelength on the inner corner, and then Best Buds on the lower lash line in the inner tear duct. So I wanted to pack like as many different shades as I could into this eye look, but also I wanted to have every single shade tested out before I reviewed the palette. I gotta say, not my favorite palette from them. I don't think it's bad. I saw some people on Trend Mood commenting that it looked like the Jackie Aina palette. No. I can see where it would kind of appear like that with the greens and the purples as well as the neutrals, but I just think that one's a lot more jewel tone, whereas this is just kind of earthy tone with a couple pops of like purple and green. The shimmers in here are okay. Honestly, my favorite shade in the palette is Third Eye, but this is available as a single. It's one of ColourPop's more popular singles. It's not like I didn't enjoy the looks that came out of it, and overall I felt like the colors all worked together, and overall it's a good-ish palette. I just don't find that there's any single shade in here that makes me excited or like really adds anything to my collection. The shadows perform okay as long as you don't mind mattes with micro glitters in them. I do like how the like true mattes perform, which can sometimes be an issue with some of ColourPop's darker colors. Then as usual, the shimmers are beautiful, but this just didn't really do it for me. All the looks I got out of this one, I liked how they came out, but I was like, I would have rather used a different palette to create the exact same look, if that makes sense. But I do love the outer packaging. So palette was not a favorite for me, but probably my favorite makeup item in this collection, because my favorite item in this collection we know. My favorite makeup item in this collection were the pressed powder blushes. So there are two different shades. We have Whole 9 Yards, which is this beautiful, like warm, rusty kind of terracotta rosy shade. This is what I'm wearing on my cheeks right now. I did use quite a bit of it. I wanted a really flushed look underneath the faux freckles, so this is the blush I'm wearing right now. And then we also have Desert Rose, which is just kind of a basic peachy tone shade that I feel like ColourPop has done a lot of. Both of them are kind of a satin finish where they have a little bit of shimmer running throughout them, but not enough to be like a very glittery shimmery blush, and I really like that. I feel like they give the cheeks a really nice healthy glow. I really do like ColourPop's pressed powder cheek products, but I feel like the blushes, out of the blushes, bronzers, and highlighters, are the best product from their line. So this is a color that I didn't really have a ton of in my collection, and I'm definitely going to be using this in pretty much every makeup look, because honestly this is quite a versatile color. And then as for the kind of peachier tone shade, this I am going to be popping into a giveaway because I have a lot of shades like this, but I love the formula and overall the blushes, total winner for me, and I love the Tiffany blue packaging. The lip oils, I feel like ColourPop, while they do get a ton of new products out all the time, they usually add on to existing lines rather than coming out with new formulas. So they came out the Luxe Lip Oils earlier this year, and I really wanted to try them out then. So I was very excited to see this collection having two of them. We've got the lighter shade, which is called Gen Zen. It's just kind of like basic rosy shade. Shade, honestly, does not matter, and we'll get to that in a second. And then we have the shade Local Time. The reason I say shades don't matter is that these are super sheer to a point where honestly I could not tell the difference between these two on my lips. So definitely I would not say you should get both of them. I think they were kind of trying to go for a Fenty Beauty Fussy and Fenty Glow situation with the shades. Kind of similar vibes. However, I feel like with the Fenty ones you can actually see a noticeable difference in shade. Fussy is quite a bit more pink toned, and while it is pretty sheer, it does still have a little bit of color payoff. And then Fenty Glow has a little bit of brown undertone to it where I feel like it tones down some kind of more cool toned or just more vibrant lip products. However, these look pretty much exactly the same on the lips in my opinion, especially if you have like a more pigmented natural lip color. This basically functions as a clear gloss, which I love. I'm wearing honestly, I don't know which shade I'm wearing right now, and it doesn't matter because they look the same. I'm wearing one of these on top of the Oden's Eye Perfect Plum Alva lip stain. And for me, this functions exactly as I would use a clear gloss, except just a tiny bit more comfortable. Lip oils in general are a lot less sticky than a typical lip gloss. They do tend to soak into the lips a little bit easier, so not quite as long wearing, but you do kind of trade off that long wearingness for a bit of comfort. So formula-wise, I really enjoy these. Color-wise, I think that they're way too sheer to see a difference, so definitely do not get both of them. Just pick whatever you think is going to work, especially because they do come in a set with the blushes. If you're going to get one of the blushes, just get whatever lip oil comes with that blush. It's going to look the same. There are two new Jelly Mutt shadows in the collection, which you guys probably know how I feel about the Jelly Mutt shadows. I love the finish of these. I think they are one of the most unique eyeshadow products in terms of how they look on the eyes and the finish of them. The problem is, kind of like the Stila Glitter and Glows, albeit a lot less expensive, is that they last like shit. The Jelly Mutt shadows, no matter how like tightly you screw them, do dry out fairly quickly. I've never gotten more than like 8 months of use out of a Jelly Mutt shadow until it completely dries up to a point where it's pretty much unsalvageable. Even like dropping in water to rehydrate it doesn't really work as well, which is a shame because these are beautiful shades. We have She Grown, which is a nice kind of like rosy toned pink, and then Saguaro. This is so pretty. I don't have any shades like this in my collection in pressed formula. You usually see like kind of gold tones or shimmery coppers, not a shimmery orange. So I think this is really beautiful. That being said, I don't really ever recommend the Jelly Mutt shadows just because of how little shelf life that they have, despite how beautiful the colors are. I guess I'll do the mists next. So I still have them in the packaging because I'm not using these particular ones. I already have a Fresh AF mist and a Glistenette mist open. So these are going to go into giveaway for the future. But we have the Glistenette mist and the Fresh AF mist. Both of these are from Fourth Ray Beauty. I really love the Glistenette mist. For me, me, this gives me a really similar effect to what the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist looks like on my skin. But if you do have oily skin, I think you'll really enjoy it a lot, because Tatcha's mist is oil-based, whereas this is water-based, so it's going to look a lot better on your skin throughout the day, whereas the Tatcha one, you're going to look pretty greasy. I use the Glistenette mist for setting my makeup, even though it's not a setting spray. The Fresh AF mist doesn't really have much of a purpose in my collection. I don't really use facial mists like this as toners. I prefer to use like toners. Really, the only thing I use this for is if I'm studying and I feel like I need like a spray of holy water because I'm dying inside, or if it's like a hot day and I just want to kind of spray my face down, I'll just spray this on top of my face. It gives me a little bit of cooling sensation, but really doesn't do anything for my skin or whatever. It does have a light, very like fresh smelling scent, but it does have a scent, so be cautious of that if you know that you're sensitive. Fragrance is not the devil. But yeah, if you were interested in trying out both of these mists, you can get them in the set form. Honestly, I really only recommend the Glistenette mist, and that's for like makeup use only. I don't really use either of these for skincare. And now for the Soul Glow Oil. This, I feel like, is a little bit more pigmented than I remembered the Soul oils being. I squirted some on my legs and started rubbing it out, and I was like, oh my god.
I just hit an Ariana Grande note, bitch.
It does share pretty nicely though if you kind of work it in. So I'm wearing it on my chest right now. I think this is beautiful, and it's actually not super sticky. I feel like they've really improved the formula a lot. So I wish I remembered to use products like this very often. I'm not going to be wearing anything like this anytime soon because I, unlike some people I know from high school, I'm not going to the beach in big groups. I would just keep in mind that if you do sweat a lot to a point where it's like actually dripping, you will get like little rivers of gold running down your chest, so just keep that in mind. But that's like any body oil. I think they've massively improved the formula. Last but not least, the scrunchies. 10 out of 10, 100% recommend. I am very picky about scrunchies. I have like I think a running collection of about 50 right now. These are really, really good scrunchies. These are just big enough that I can fit them in 4 loops around my ponytail. I do a very, very thick hair, so that's not something I can find in a lot of scrunchies. Usually I use like silk scrunchies, but I feel like that cannot hold up my ponytail when I'm doing like plyometric jumping work for my workouts. This holds my ponytail up on top of my head without like letting it fall down, so that is lovely. Plus the colors are pretty, so this is my favorite item in the collection, hands down. Full stop. Buy the scrunchies. That is it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video reviewing the ColourPop Garden Variety Collection, or as I like to call it, succulents galore. Overall, wasn't my favorite ColourPop collection of all time. I definitely preferred the Mulan collection just because that one had a lot more hits than misses. But in my opinion, I think what's worth purchasing are the pressed powder blushes. If you want to get them in a set with one of the lip oils, definitely do that, but don't get more than one lip oil. The scrunchies. Obviously. Palette, unfortunately, was not for me, but if you do know that you like mattes with my good glitters and you like this color scheme, I think that the formula overall is good. It just didn't really fit with my personal preferences. Jelly Mazzucato's not worth it. This is going to be in a giveaway, so stay tuned for that. That is it for this collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed down below. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and probably the best content I ever make, TikTok. And if you made it to the very end of this video, you adorable succulent baby, you get the bonus meme. I love you. Bye.
How the hell are we doing? Grandma's birthday. She's really sick. Break from social media. Focusing on myself. Unwinding. Needed a mental breather. LA has been crazy, girl. Miss Rona, who invited you? Pop a wig on and we're good to go. Beautiful day in Calabasas. Da Vinci. Spending time with nature. Smoke a fat one. Reconstruction around the house. Back down from a fight. Merch is in the works. Crazy. It's just in a lot of pain. Being dramatic, but like this is real life. We're talking. New palette. Yes.